This is the Tigers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hey, how about it? How about it? The Tigers stay hot. You got to love it. Victory over the New York Yankees, four in a row at Comerica Park to start the season. 6-2, the final this afternoon from a chilly Comerica Park. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. And this is the Locked On Tigers post-game show, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, on YouTube as well. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. Shout out to Locked On Tigers and Scott Bentley and the crew. This is your post-game coverage. He'll take a deep dive on what we witnessed today at Comerica Park. But what we've got on tap for you today, how about Casey Mize on the bump? Got to hear everybody's thoughts on that because it was a quality start. He led this team to victory, and what a way to start the series. No doubt about that. Some timely hitting. Andy Ibanez obviously finding the seats. You love that. And the Tigers continue to stay hot. I'll have my player of the game. We'll have our turning point and what everybody's talking about. So buckle up, dial it in, and let's get after it. And once again, fired up as always to be on the air with you. And this is a collaborative environment. Let me know what you thought in the comments. We'll try to mix in as many as we can. But we begin with Casey Mize because my goodness, if this is the Casey Mize we have for 2025, and count me in as the leader of the Casey Mize fan club, because I will hold my hand up with Spencer Torkelson as a guy that I admittedly, like a lot of people, kind of gave up on. But Casey Mize, I just always felt like there was still something there. And I apologize if you're watching on YouTube. It's super sunny all of a sudden out of nowhere. But it's good natural lighting, I think is what they say. Maybe not golden hour quite yet on the Instagram. But hey, I'm trying to find a spot here where the sun isn't completely crazy. So I'll do my best. But that being said, I admit, Spencer Torkelson, I left him for the grave. I did not think he was a part of the future of this organization, but Casey Mize, I just thought was too good to give up on as a 1-1 player, first overall pick, and showed so much promise, has the art of pitching, as the great late Jim Price would say, and there's so much that you could build on with Casey Mize, and now we are seeing it, and oh my, is it glorious. So by definition, a quality start today. He goes 6 innings, and he's 2-0. How about that? 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts. He did walk 3. But man, you talk, and I know the elements weren't exactly favorable for the hitter, but pitchers have to deal with the cold weather and the snow as well. I mean, at times it looked like the snow globe. It reminded me of opening day from 2021, I believe it was. I was there freezing my you-know-what's off when Miguel Cabrera hit the home run in the snow globe. I mean, that was just one of the more iconic images that you will get from an opening day. And so fast forward to 2025, and you got Casey Mize out there in a snow globe, and boy, did he look impressive. You talk about first pitch strikes, 16 of 24. You love to see that. Swinging strikes for Casey Mize. He got 10 of them. So the fact of the matter is he was fooling hitters. He was in command. He was controlling the strike zone. Everything you love to see. And let's go ahead without further ado. I know I'm going to be talking about Casey Mize, and you should be too.
This is what you'll be talking about.
But for the purpose of the segment, hey, there's a lot to talk about in this one, and that's what the instant reaction is all about. So Casey Mize certainly on that list of takeaways today. You absolutely love to see it. And I believe Benetti and Dirk said something to this effect where if the bottom portion of this Tigers rotation can be what we've seen so far from the guys, look out. This is a scary, scary team. And I think a lot of people would be in agreement with me on that one. A couple of comments to get to before we go to my next talking point. And yeah, we love talking about the Tigers staying hot. I know that was the motto in that improbable run last year. 22 tantrums says someone let the Tigers get hot in borderline freezing temps. Way to go, boys. You absolutely love it. Frank Norman, we dem boys. Braylon Dennis, undefeated so far at home. Absolutely. And you got Dennis saying, hey, go Tigers. Awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, let's get into the next part of the program, and that is the timely hitting. How about Andy Ibanez in the freezing cold temperature, 2 outs, 2 men on, bottom of the third, finding a way to elevate that ball and deliver it to the bullpen in left field for a home run. Let's try that again. A beautiful swing, and by golly, the 3-run jack, the biggest swing of the day. Andy Ibanez, first home run of the season. 2 on, 2 out. That's as clutch as it gets. And in the type of day that it was, with the conditions, with the cold weathers, obviously that would fall into the conditions as well. But the way both these starting pitchers were throwing with Casey Mize, and you know how good this Tigers bullpen can be, it felt like a 3-run lead was pretty, nobody's going to say insurmountable by any means. But listen, I'll tell you how I'm feeling, and I'm always insist on transparency. And full transparency, when that ball left the yard, I felt really, really good about the Tigers' chances moving forward. Now, that's might be, you could be listening to this right now and say, what the heck is this guy talking about? And I understand that, but it's just one of those gut feelings. You know, I just said, wait a second. I like the way this game is going. And Andy Dirk said on the broadcast, guys just out there having fun, playing baseball. And to put the Tigers up 3-0 like that from Andy Ibanez, things you absolutely love to see. Also see in the comments from Braylon Dennis, a couple other people saying that, yeah, J-Mo was in attendance. How about that, Waymo? There you go. Jameson Williams from the Detroit Lions, a 1,000-yard receiver. Love to see him out supporting the Motor City Cats. Awesome stuff all the way around. Now, other thing I want to mention with the offense, clutch hitting as well from the Detroit Tigers, in the sense that you get that 2-run single from Justyn-Henry Malloy. Got to give him a lot of love too. At the top of the lineup, something I liked seeing. I mean, I don't know if it's something that it becomes a habit as a leadoff hitter, but in a pinch or in the right setting, I don't mind seeing Justyn-Henry Malloy's name at the top of that lineup card leading off. And today's a good example. You talk about adding a lift to this offense. The clutch 2-run single. Great stuff there from Justyn-Henry Malloy. And when that single was made, it was important. Bottom of the 5th inning, the Yankees had just drawn within 2 with 1 run in the top of the 5th, the only run they got off Casey Mize. And so to come right back, the exact same inning, not let the Yankees get that shutdown inning, not let the Yankees get any kind of momentum. That's another thing that shows a lot of the just the makeup of this ball club. And when they've got it, they've got it. And tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, was an example of that. So you go up 5-1. And listen, I know there, and I wrote down in my notes, they got a little sloppy. And let me back up a little bit further, because in my notes, I also have the Kreidler bunt that set up the 2nd and 3rd. It was a really nice bunt. I thought Kreidler would be able to beat it out, if I'm being honest. He did not look exceptionally speedy down the line there, but the bunt, make no mistake about it, set up the 2nd and 3rd and allowed for Justyn-Henry Malloy to bring home those runners. So again, complimentary baseball, things you love to see from the Tigers. Now, before we get to the Colt Keith air, which was not great, the top of the 7th, that 6-4-3, 6-4-3 technically, because I think it did bounce off the pitcher, but one of the better plays you will see from a shortstop. And if you're with us last year for the Locked On Tigers postcast, you know it was always hard for me to say something nice about Javi Baez, but I can say something nice about Javi Baez today. That was an exceptional play. I don't know if it was quite like Andy Dirk saying, hey, that was the best play I've ever seen. I don't know if it was quite that good, but a great reaction and a really, really good play all the way around from Javi Baez. Now, bullpen takes it the rest of the way. They do give up the 1 run there in the top half of the 8th inning. Got a little dicey, but nothing to worry about as the Tigers put the clamps down. All right, that being said, hey, we are halfway through the program already, which is kind of hard to believe because, my goodness, it just zooms on by. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Coming up next, don't go anywhere, by the way. I can see who's leaving. Coming up next, we will discuss the turning point, the player of the game, and what's on tap for the Tigers for the remaining series against the New York Yankees. Looking forward to that. Don't go anywhere. It's a Locked On Tigers postcast right here on Locked On Tigers. Hey, this episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Just Ingredients. That's right. When it comes to fueling your body, quality matters, my friends. That's why Just Ingredients is changing the game with clean, high-quality products that are designed to support better health and peak performance. Who doesn't love peak performance? With Just Ingredients, they offer an NSF certified line of protein powder, electrolytes, pre-workouts, and creatine, all rigorously tested to ensure they're free from substances banned by major athletic organizations. Just Ingredients has also partnered with two-time MVP Bryce Harper, who trusts their NSF certified sports line to fuel the training and recovery for the two-time MVP Bryce Harper. Listen, I'm not exactly a pro athlete by any means, but you know what? I like to stay in shape and fuel that body. Your body is a temple after all. So whether you're recovering after a workout or need an energy boost, their grass-fed wheat protein and pre-workout delivers results. All you have to do is visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB. Can you remember that for me? LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. Just visit justingredients.us and use code LOCKEDONMLB for 20% off. And for more wellness tips, follow just.ingredients on Instagram, on the gram. There you have it. This episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by Game Time. Listen up. I know it was cold at Comerica Park today, but it's still worth getting out to the ballpark because there's nothing quite like catching an MLB game live. The crack of the bat, the roar of the crowd, and the smell of ballpark food. And if you're looking to go last minute, well, guess what? Game Time makes getting tickets easier than ever with last minute deals, all-in pricing, and the lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the stress out of buying MLB tickets. Plus, ticket price drops as game time gets closer. How about that? Meaning you can score an incredible deal. Game Time is the official ticketing partner of Locked On. And for all the games coming up at Comerica Park, listen, the Tigers are 4-0 at Comerica Park. You got to get out there. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Once again, that's code LOCKEDONMLB. Easy to remember. Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Create that account and redeem the code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, we are cruising right along on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Let's knock these out one by one, and then we'll take some comments and tie a bow on it. Don't go anywhere. It's time for the turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Couple things come to mind today, but I got to go with the obvious. Otherwise, I would be shortchanging you, shortchanging me. It's the Andy Ibanez 3-run homer. The game turned at that moment. But I also want to add some of the big outs that not only not only Casey Mize got, but the complementary pieces from the work from the bullpen as well. And I also want to add one of the turning points was the play made behind the dish, the throw down to third base to retire Rice with one out at third. I mean, come on. That's just as poor base running as you can get from Rice, but also a credit to Jake Rogers throwing out Ben Rice like that. A huge turning point early in that game to keep the Yankees off the scoreboard, and then the Tigers come right back and get some runs. So a couple of turning points in this one, but a tremendous job by Andy Ibanez, the bullpen as well. You talk about Tyler Holton doesn't give up a run. Bo Brisky doesn't give up a run, and Canely was really good in the ninth as well. Loved what we saw from him. That being said, Canely had the changeup work, had the fastball, had everybody off balance there in that ninth inning. Took him just 14 pitches to retire the side. So that being said, a lot of options for our player of the game, and let's get into it.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It's Casey Mize. Quality start, delivered 6 innings, just the 1 earned run. We talked about the swing and misses that he got, the first pitch strikes, all things you love to see. You chalk it up for a win. He's 2-0 on the season. And man, if he can be a strong point in this rotation, when all you are asking for him is to be a reliable 5th starter, it seems like he's taken that up a notch and is really showing what he is capable of. And again, chalk that under things you love to see. Today really checked a lot of boxes as far as things to feel good about moving forward. So I you know me, if you've watched this program enough, and if you've watched our other postcasts on the Locked On Sports page with the Pistons, with the line, whatever it is, I will try as my very, very best to call it how I see it. So if something doesn't make me feel good, I'll let you know. But today, really nothing to complain about. I mean, through and through. And those, again, are things you love to see for the Detroit Tigers. Time for a couple more comments before we say goodbye from Rick Knopf. Casey is back. Torque is back. That's 2 pieces of the puzzle that we weren't expecting. Great team. That's right. I mean, it's kind of bizarre the way Casey Mize and the similarities and the parallels that Torque and Casey Mize have. Both first-round picks, number 1 overall picks, both hit this rut, this struggling point in their career. And I don't want to say the lowest of lows, but certainly very, very challenging parts in their big league careers. And listen, I can't believe I've gone this long without saying it, because that's the precursor that everybody says. It's still early. It's still early. But we all know it's still early. That being said, this couldn't have started any better for both of those guys, Spencer Torkelson and Casey Mize. Again, I said it in the open. I'll say it again. Casey Mize is, I will tell, and anybody that I love to talk Tigers with knows I hadn't closed the book on Casey Mize yet. And I admit I kind of had with Spencer Torkelson. So happy to be wrong about that, and really happy to be right about Casey Mize. And let's hope that the 2-0 start is just a sign of things to come. All right. A couple more comments here. My man, Demetrius McNeil, getting in on the action. That's 4 wins in a row for the Tigers after sweeping the White Sox. Real quick, who wins the NCAA championship tonight? Yeah, we love a little cross mixing here. We got college hoops tonight. Listen, I had Duke going all the way, and they gagged it away. So I'm out in my bracket. I kind of like Kelvin Sampson. Root for him and the Cougars. The University of Houston. We'll see, though. I just hope it's an entertaining game. Also, an egregious 8:50 start time. I know I tweeted that out earlier, but do they not care about college basketball on the East Coast? That's messed up. 8:50 start time. Unbelievable. All right. We've got the man in the Michigan hat just joining, but this felt like a game where the manager difference was felt. Way more mental mistakes and failures to execute fundamentals on their side, Colt not included. Yeah, I'm glad you threw that that disclaimer in there, because as soon as Colt Keith makes that error, my younger brother texts me all caps, "What the heck? I'm out on Colt Keith," and I cleaned it up a little bit, but you get the point. Yeah, we need more from Colt Keith, and we need you know what? We need less mistakes in the field, and we need more at the plate from Colt Keith, because unfortunately he's off to kind of a rocky start, but I believe he will bounce back and move forward on and put his best foot forward, because we saw it at the end of the year last year. I'm not worried about that, but it has been kind of a difficult start to the 2025 campaign for Colt Keith. But hey, appreciate everybody turning into a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Just me hanging out with you. And make sure you check out Locked On Tigers, the deep dive with Scott Bentley, the daily show, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And what a time April in the D is, because guess what? We've got Locked On Pistons postcast coming up later tonight. The Pistons back in action. Looking forward to that. And a little personal anecdote from you. I am one of the hosts of the new Locked On MLB Game Night. Would love to have you join me for that, where we just go around the bases, every major league game, a little recap here, a little recap there, and we chop it up about baseball. What more could you want in a quick 30-minute show around Major League Baseball? We hear from other different Locked On hosts, so it's a really neat program that they're putting out there. So Locked On MLB Game Night late tonight, or maybe even if you don't want to catch it live after the final outs recorded on the West Coast, go ahead and check it out in the morning, free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, your team each and every day, as the man in the Michigan hat reminds us. We appreciate that. All right. Good stuff all the way around. And this is not goodbye. It's just see you later, because we got Locked On Pistons, the postcast later tonight, and MLB game night, because the night's just getting started. The day's just getting started. Absolutely love it. Tigers beat the Yankees. Make sure you join us tomorrow for a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Game time 1:10. So we'll be on immediately following the final out. Tigers go for 5 in a row. Looking forward to that. And make sure you join us on the Locked On Sports Detroit YouTube page, where the Locked On Pistons postcast will be, and then Locked On MLB Game Night. You can find it on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. Hope to talk to you soon on Locked On Tigers postcast.